So in 2003, when I took office, we were, the nation was just coming out of a recession, but Michigan, because of our unique circumstances, given our concentration in auto manufacturing, we hadn't started to see the benefit of that uptick. And so we actually pursued a strategy where we would do outreach to find out who else could help. And the foundation community was so great about saying, look, your economic strategy dovetails with the strategies that we're all pursuing individually. Let us fund an office within state government and put a person there that will work with you on making sure that we have alignment. And then Dave Egner and Hudson Weber stepped forward and said we would be happy to get the foundation community. Rob Collier was unbelievable, and so it was a gift to us to be able to coordinate and align these strategies throughout this entire administration, all 8 years. We have heavily depended on our foundation partners to achieve the results that we wanted to see in the economy.
Well, I was excited to continue the Office of Foundation Liaisons because it had played a great purpose in the past. Actually, what I want to do was enhance it, and the great part is the office responded. And I want to thank the foundation community for that great effort, because if you look at all the things we've done a tremendous amount of important activities, and we've done them quickly. And so it actually required more coordination, more effort, and that's where the office became more important about how we could create an even closer tie and bond between the foundation community and the executive branch of state government.
The Office of Foundation Liaison was created because of what was a continually blurring line between the work of the public sector and philanthropy. And the thought was, if we could find those intersections where the blurriness was at its peak, but there was common interest, we could find ways to fund studies, connect resources, and start programs that would attack some of the issues in Michigan that were most important to its future. What's happened is it's now in its 10th year. It's translated from one administration to the next. The priorities have been far more robust than I thought they would be, and the connections made by the OFL, formally and informally, are far beyond what my expectations were. Couldn't be more pleased with what came out of an idea we drew on the back of a cocktail napkin with Governor Granholm, and how that's emerged into what is a national model for how state government and philanthropy can work together.
I think one of the secrets of the success also of the Office of Foundation Liaison has been the advisory committee of many of the funders and a representative of the governor's office. We meet regularly and we identify priority public policy issues that her office will focus on. Without that, I think it would be easy for the office to be pulled in way too many directions. And so working with the governor's office and the funders, we've been able to identify certain priority areas that help her focus.
This is truly a unique office, and it really represents a long history of the Council of Michigan Foundations and our foundation membership partnering with state government to leverage our resources and make more things happen for the benefit of all Michiganders. It's really neat that we were able to find a loaned executive, Karen Alger-Jessen, who had experience in state government, and that really gave us a key advantage in getting this office started 10 years ago under the Granholm administration, and Karen's good work and her associate Maureen DeWan have continued this under the Snyder administration. We're really very fortunate to have two very talented individuals in the advisory committee working closely hand in hand with the governor and his staff to look at opportunities where philanthropy can really leverage what's going on around the country.
There's no question that having an Office of Foundation Liaison here in the governor's office, I sit on the advisory board, talk with Karen and Maura virtually every day. Virtually every department director has established a relationship with the Office of Foundation Liaison, has worked with the Office of Foundation Liaison on a host of things, whether we're talking about teacher evaluations and how that system should work with the Department of Education over the long term, or we're talking about opportunities and conservation of the environment in the Department of Environmental Quality. Virtually every department of state government has had a touch point with the Office of Foundation Liaison.
We were so fortunate to have the Office of Foundation Liaison available in the state of Michigan when the College Access Network was, even before it was being considered, we were able to work with them as a community foundation group from Council of Michigan Foundations. There were over 20 of us at the time that were interested. And with the Office of Foundation Liaison, we were able to work with the governor's office and create the Michigan College Access Network, which many community foundations now have local college access networks as a result. In this era, we need the Office of Foundation Liaison because the connections between the nonprofit sector, particularly the foundation sector within that, and government are so important, particularly right here in our own state.
So the Office of Foundation Liaison over the last 10 years has provided a tremendous opportunity for foundations and state government to work together in new and creative ways. Oftentimes there's a tendency for government and foundations to look at each other as simply a pot of money to extend the work that one or the other is trying to do, and that may be natural and appropriate in some cases, but what the Office of Foundation Liaison has allowed us to do is to look at each other in new and creative ways, and often as partners.
In 2009, the Open Society Foundations created the Special Fund for Poverty Alleviation, and Michigan was one of the states they wanted to work in. Not having a previous philanthropic footprint in the state, the fund reached out to the Mott Foundation, and we reached out to the Office of Foundation Liaison to help Open Society Foundations identify good projects and build partnerships with other foundations in the state.
You can't separate the office from the two women who work in the office, and I think Karen Aldrich Eason and Maura Dewan really typify servant leadership. They have been absolutely critically important in getting our issues to the right levels of state government, and it's a thankless task at times, but it's been really important to know that they were there and that we could draw on their expertise.
Morning, the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency was established by the governor in an executive order in March of 2013. And it served with the primary responsibility of being the central coordinating point for all things veterans in the state of Michigan. I first started as the governor's deputy chief of staff. That was the first time that I met Karen Aldrich Eason and Maura Dewan. And we started a discussion of different initiatives that we wanted to look at in more depth. And one of those issues were the service of our veterans. And we had an understanding that Michigan's veteran population had been underserved, and in terms of individual benefits that veterans get from USVA, that they were underutilizing those benefits for several years. Karen and Maura were great to assemble a group of funders that could understand the issue, talk about it in great depth, and introduced us to some ideas that were going on nationally that were best practices.
Karen Aldrich Eason is the director of the Office of Foundation Liaison, and Maura Dewan, her associate, have done a simply spectacular job of interpreting what was a concept into reality. They've been very instrumental in securing support for programs like Double Up Food Bucks, where the philanthropy has been very instrumental in coming up with the resources necessary to create for all citizens in the state of Michigan access to fresh food. The Office of Foundation Liaison was able to set up a meeting with key administrators within the governor's office, as well as Maura Corrigan as the director of the Department of Human Services and her leaders, to talk to local Grand Rapids and Kent County leaders in the area of the Kent School Services Network, and to understand its relationship as a model program for pathways to potential over in the Detroit, Flint, and Saginaw areas. It has really, really worked well.
I think the biggest highlights are we're still here. We're the only office that has successfully transitioned from one administration to another and from one party to another, and remaining a nonpartisan office at the same time. So that's huge for us, and that's recognized on the national in the national field of this work. That we've accomplished this, and that's to the credit of the foundation community. It's not to my credit, but Michigan foundations have really been behind us and our sustainability. One of the things we want to credit is this administration and this governor. he didn't have to keep us, and he saw some value in keeping this office in place. And so we are highly grateful for that, and we've had a successful relationship with them, particularly working with Bill Rustum, who heads up the Strategic Policy Office here for the Snyder administration. So that's something that we're very pleased about. I mean, the list goes on of the people who have helped this office, from advisory committee members to individual foundations to state agencies who have worked so closely and so hard with us. I don't know how to name all of them, but we're just grateful that people have found us a useful partner and a useful way of identifying colleagues on the other side. So we're thankful. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Office of Foundation Liaison for 10 years. Despite having a despicable chair, because of the talents of your director and the talents of your deputy director, you've made 10 years work for philanthropy and for state government.
Happy birthday. Happy 10th anniversary to the Office of Foundation Liaison. It's something that was successfully started before I became governor, but I think it's only gotten better, become stronger, and really create a better bond between the foundation community and state government, and even more importantly, it's showing real results for the citizens of Michigan. So I say thank you, and let's go for 20.